Well, hey, friends. Welcome back to the Melanie Mitro Show. It's your host, Melanie Mitro, and today we're doing an unfiltered episode. I have been getting so many questions about how you can build in the direct sales space in 2025 and not build a team. Now, I do firmly believe in the team building side of the direct sales space. That to me is actually my favorite part of the business. But when I think about healthy businesses, when I think about healthy network marketing businesses, I think about a business that has a really strong foundation with customers and has a healthy number of team members. And I'll kind of give you a little backstory on myself. Back in 2011, when I decided to venture down the path of network marketing and said yes to a health and fitness company, the first thing I did when I came through the doors of the business was I focused on sales. I focused on new customers, building relationships, good quality customer service. And in the back of my mind, all I thought to myself was if I show people that I am a good support system, if they trust me, if they get results using the products, then they will come back over and over again and they will also refer their friends. And so that was the foundation upon which I built my business. And as that grew and really became a healthy customer base, there was this point in my business where I said, I love what I'm doing. These paychecks, these commissions are changing our family's life. We're paying down our student loan debt. We're making extra payments on our mortgage. We're able to take an annual vacation. I'm able to be home with my little boys and create some additional income for our family. And I thought there's got to be other moms out there who are looking for a way to create maybe some supplemental income to lessen the stress of financial burdens. Or there are women out there that want to be at home with their kids that can't and just don't know another way. And so I started to share the opportunity because I wanted other people to know there was another option. As somebody who went to school, got a 4-year degree, then went on and got her master's degree, I was so conditioned that the only way to be successful was to work full time in a corporate setting or more traditional setting. Entrepreneurship wasn't something that I was raised in that kind of an environment. And so it felt very much, and I know today in 2025, entrepreneurship is way more widely accepted. It's not so much the risky path. And we encourage people to not go to college unless that's something that you want to do. And so times were very different back then. I felt like I was like a trailblazer in some way, going off and starting this direct sales business. But I digress. Coming back, I realized that other women didn't know that this opportunity was out there. And then I also thought to myself, okay, if I'm helping people get results with the system that I'm doing, the way I'm supporting customers, the way I'm holding them accountable, the way I'm checking in, the way I'm building my customer base, I can help way more people if I have team members that are using my methodologies and they're helping people. And so I can maybe only help 20, 30 people at a time. But if we're all helping 20 or 30 people, we can make a difference in people's lives. We can improve their health and wellness. And so that was the springboard for me, the light bulb moment where I was like, I have to build a team. I want to build a team. There is something here. I'm seeing success and I want to share this with other people. And I believe that why so many people don't see success in their direct sales businesses is because they don't do the foundation. And the foundation is good customer sales, customer service, and support, because all of that creates a foundation for income coming in, but it also is how you teach the people that join your team how to be successful. And so instead of just coming in and saying, I want to build a team, unless you have experience in the industry, you know what to do. Most people come in and they want to have customer sales. They want to just have commissions. They want to take advantage of the retail side. And there's nothing wrong with that. I find that lately people are coming to me and they're like, I want to build with you, but I don't want to build a team. And I'm like, no big deal. It's not a you have to, or no, I don't want you here, right? It really is, hey, there are opportunities for you to come in and make a supplemental or significant income through retail sales as you build your confidence, as you have more success. Some people, not all, move into that. I want to build a team. And it just depends on your personality. And so I believe, and today is not going to be about team building. Today is actually about sales. It's how to scale your sales. What is my methodology? What is it that lays this foundation upon which my businesses have been built upon? Now, I've built multiple 8-figure businesses over the past 14 years. I'm in the process of scaling my third business as we speak, and I'm using in real time everything that I'm sharing with you today. Okay. Everything that I'm sharing with you today. And we're going to talk about sales because even at my level, I still am rolling up my sleeves and I'm getting to work. I'm not sitting here eating bonbons, sitting on the couch, watching Netflix. I am doing exactly what I teach you to do. Why? Because I know the future of healthy, sustainable, long-term success is built upon a really healthy customer base. I want to make sure that I have that part of my business dialed in. And yes, I am team building at this season of my life, but I believe that if you're new to the industry or thinking about stepping back in again, the first thing you should do is scale your sales, take advantage of the commission opportunities, and invite people to join you on that journey. So I want to just give you a few little ground rules before I go into the ways that I am scaling my sales today, because I think, and I'm also going to share some ways that I'm watching my team scale too, because I just feel like sharing is caring. And the more knowledge we have, the more power we have to make better decisions. So let's just bust a myth right now. Is the industry saturated? Is the market, is direct sales kind of a thing of the past? Is it going out of style? Is it becoming extinct like the dinosaurs? My answer is no. And 9 months ago, I was having conversations like this, is direct sales going to be a thing of the past? And, a mentor of ours had really guided us to diversify, to, really start to branch out and say, I just don't think direct sales is the only way to build an income. And while the answer is yes, you are correct, it is not the only way to build an income. There is, and as somebody who has built other businesses, there is nothing like direct sales. And why do I say that? Because number one, it actually teaches how to have good sales skills, right? It teaches you customer service, it teaches you marketing and leadership and just all of the things that you would need if you were going to start any business in your life. And so for somebody who wants to maybe dip their toe in entrepreneurship, direct sales is the way to go. You don't have the overhead that somebody who owns a brick and mortar would have. You are responsible for the inventory and production. You're just responsible for showing up and sharing the products and getting paid based off of your sales. And to me, that's a great entry level way to get into, the entrepreneurship realm. And so I find that, yes, this is a good starting point for people. It really does weed out the people who don't have what it takes. And that's what I find. Sometimes direct sales gets a bad rap, and I've had people say this to me even recently. Oh, you just, make people sign up. They have to buy all these products, but they don't make any money, or only the person at the top makes the money. And I always chuckle because usually that person either is someone that came in and didn't have success in direct sales and they became bitter and resentful as a result of or it's somebody who knows of somebody who was maybe taken advantage of, or maybe got into the wrong kind of business, or had a poor upline or mentor. And so it always breaks my heart when people have that experience, but I also know that that's not a blanket statement for the whole industry. What I do know is that the right kind of business, the right business model, all the direct sales companies out there, there is an opportunity to earn, and to earn in a big, significant way. But you have to take action. And so a lot of people raise their hand, like a lot of people raise their hand to open brick and mortar businesses. And I don't even know the percentage rate, but it's probably close to 50% of businesses, they fail in the first 5 years because people think entrepreneurship is a great idea, They like the idea of it, but they aren't willing to do the work whenever push comes to shove. And that's what I find in the direct sales space. So as you're listening to this today, you have to know that yes, success is possible. It's not reserved for the people at the top. It's not about how many followers you have, or if you're an introvert or an extrovert. It is about you being willing to do the work that is required in order to get the commission checks that you want to get. And it works for anybody. You just have to follow the formula. People just don't follow the formula. They allow their motivation on any given day to determine whether or not they're going to show up and do the work. And it's more about discipline than it is about motivation. So, if you're listening to this right now, if you've got some narratives that are going on about success, some stories that you're telling yourself, it is time for us to hit the pause and to journal those out. Because anything you're telling yourself, like only the people at the top can be successful, or I've been doing this for 10 years and I still haven't achieved what I consider success. Is it even possible for me? Or I have 2 small kids at home. I don't have the time to build this business. And you have to look at those statements and tell yourself they are false. They are lies that I'm telling myself that are keeping me safe from hurt. Maybe that's the hurt of a failure. It's maybe whether if you succeed, it's safeguarding you from being able to handle the pressure of success. But our stories that we tell ourselves on a consistent basis, they're shaping the decisions that we make. They're shaping the results that we get and the level of happiness that we live in this lifetime. And my friends, we only get one life. We only get one shot at success and one shot of doing it the way we want. And so we got to show up and we got to take the shots even when it feels uncomfortable. So success is possible. We've got that out of the way, right? Success is possible. Doesn't matter your background. It's all about the decisions that you make in the moment. And so whenever I am coaching somebody, and also when I'm building my own business, as I'm thinking about scaling my sales, the first thing that I do, even today, and I've been teaching this for over a decade, is I have my marketing plan. I have my marketing plan that sits on my desk at any given time, and I know what I'm inviting to. Last week on a call, I was coaching a group of direct sellers, and I said to them, at any given moment, you should know what you're inviting to. What are you inviting to? Had them drop it in the chat bar. And at the end of that call, I can't believe how many people said that was their biggest aha moment, was that they go through their months and they don't have something they're inviting to. They're just kind of posting and they're inviting and they're kind of documenting their day, but there's not that intentionality behind it. And so I'm going to ask you right now, what are you inviting to? Are you inviting to a group, an event, an in-person event, a bash, a VIP chat? There always should be something you're inviting to, or you're in sort of that interim phase where you've just closed out an enrollment period. Now you're nurturing getting your new customers or team members set up. You're delivering good customer service and you're taking that little pause before you go into the next sales cycle. This is really key. I want you to get in the habit of saying, what am I inviting to? And then we won't go into marketing calendar in this episode completely, but also giving yourself the runway to know that you need about 7 to 10 days of talking about a particular topic through stories and posts, emails, private messages, in order for that to really sink in and for people to start to make a decision. So that's something else. Ask yourself, do I give things long enough to marinate, long enough for them to really sink in, for people to go, I need that. That's a problem. She can solve it. And I trust her and I'm willing to give her my money. Okay. So most people don't do that. So what am I inviting to? The other key part of scaling your sales is we need to know what we're inviting to. Second thing is we need to have a deadline. So the deadline is, this is the last possible day or time to make a purchase in order to get some sort of reward. So let me give you an example. At 11:59 Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday is the last chance to get enrolled into my 30-day anti-inflammatory reset group. Once you join the anti-inflammatory reset group, you're going to get weekly meal plans. You're going to get support. We're going to have a small group private thread. You're going to get access to all of my favorite recipes and tips and tricks that have helped me to kick 30 pounds of inflammation in my body. Now, notice I gave a deadline, 11:59 Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday night. What do people get when they make a purchase? They get access into my anti-inflammatory 30-day group. They also are getting additional resources. So that ups like the FOMO, the exclusivity when you give it a deadline and you tell people what they're going to get for their purchase. So I'm creating urgency. All right. So urgency is really important. I've got a deadline in there. It's creating urgency. And if I don't create urgency, it's like, here's my anti-inflammatory reset bundle. You should do this with me. Great. Somebody's going to sit there and say, yep, I want to do that. Yep, I want to do that. Yep, I want to do that. But they're not going to purchase because there isn't an urgency there. There's not a deadline tied to it. So even if your network marketing company doesn't give you a deadline, create one. I'm always creating deadlines in my business. So it's Wednesday, 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. And then I also like to give it some exclusivity. I will say I'm only accepting 10 people. And I will show in my stories all the people's names who have committed, and I'll say your name here. Every time somebody signs up, I will screenshot that and have, put it in my stories as a way to create more FOMO, urgency, for people to see, oh, people are signing up. I should be a part of this too. Does that make sense? So you want to create that urgency, a deadline, exclusivity. You want to know what you're inviting to. That is foundational when it comes to scaling your sales, is creating that kind of sales cycle. You see all major stores and businesses doing the exact same thing, whether it's a 24-hour flash sale or it's some sort of end of summer sale or Christmas in July. You see these things happening all the time. We want to mimic that in the online direct sales space. Okay. All right. The next part of scaling your sales is you need to be human. I look at all these people who hop from company to company to company, all the people that are like, I'm not successful. I've been here for 8 years. I've spent so much money and I'm not getting a return on my investment. I would say the number one reason why people who actually they are trying to build their business aren't successful is two things. One is consistency. All right. One is consistency, meaning they're consistent for 3 to 4 weeks, then they're gone for 2 months. They're consistent for a month, then they decide they need a social media break and they're gone for 30 days. Then they come back, they're ready to restart again. They restart for 2 weeks, then they're gone for 2 months. That's what I see people do. They let life get the best of them and they're just constantly restarting their business. And you will never get momentum if you are operating that way. It's about having a cadence of consistency. It isn't that you're always perfect, that you're always on, that everything just always hits the mark, but you show up in the good and the bad. It's just you show up differently in different seasons of your life. Consistency, hands down, is one of the reasons why people aren't successful. The second reason why people aren't successful is that they literally are not a human. They're not a human. They look at, when I say go build relationships, they are like, how many conversations do I have before I invite them? Or how many photos should I like before I send a message? How many days, on what day after somebody's been watching my stories, do I now send them a message? And I'm like, friend, we need to be a human. It's about building a relationship. So, and this might hit home and maybe I'm offending some people, and please know that that's not my intention at all. But I find that that's why people struggle, is because they don't know how to have a conversation. So when I'm telling you to go build relationships, I am in no means saying you build a relationship and then you're just going to sell them. When I sit down to build relationships, I'm like, who can I connect with today? How can I be of service today? I was just sending somebody a voice note about this last night, and it's very simple. One of the things that I always tell people to do is every single day go to if it's your Facebook friends list, and just scroll through it. Who are some people that you know that you haven't connected with in a while? Click on their Facebook profile and see what they're up to. Scroll down through, find something that you could genuinely leave a comment on. Maybe they just went on vacation and you've gone to that same place and you leave a comment. Maybe their son or daughter is off to college and you leave a comment about that because you've just navigated that season in your own life. And so you offer some words of wisdom. And so when you are interacting with people, and I'm not like, oh, I'm going to send them a message after this and then invite them to something. No, I'm just trying to make eye contact. And so then what I'm doing is every single day, I just want to be in front of people. And then my social media is doing one of three things. It's adding value. I'm sharing, in my case, in the wellness industry, I'm sharing a recipe that everybody asks me for all the time. I'm giving value. Somebody can come to my page, they can snag that recipe, they can make it. Or, people love to know more about my anti-inflammatory journey. So I can share my anti-inflammatory journey. And guess what? Other women that I've been interacting with that may have the same problems begin to reach out to me. I pay attention, and then sometimes I'm straight up selling. I'm talking about a promotion, a sale, an event that I'm doing, and I'm paying attention to who is liking those posts. But every post isn't just about me. It's not about the sale. It's about, can I add some value? Can I build relationships? Can I connect with other people? And then when it's time to do my actual inviting, I'm looking to see who are the people that I've connected with that have actually said like, oh, I should do what you do, or, oh, I have the same problems that you have. It's just that so many of us are not actually showing up and serving, adding value and being human and just connecting and thinking, what does my audience need to hear from me today so that they trust me enough to give me their money? Most people are thinking, I need to make this post because I need to sell this bundle so that I can hit my goal. And when you operate like that, nothing happens. I'm putting up these stories so somebody will vote on my poll, so I will sell a bundle. Instead, flip it. I'm showing up in my stories. I'm sharing this piece of advice so somebody will trust me. Somebody will ask me questions, and it will start a conversation that eventually may lead to a sale. Or I'm sharing these testimonials so other women know that I'm not the only one that's gotten results with these products and that they can do it too. I'm sharing this recipe because moms always tell me they can't find healthy breakfast recipes that are quick and easy to get out the door with. And I'm sharing this in hopes that it helps another mom navigate the morning with a little less stress. That's the thought process. How can I add value? When you're like, what's in it for me? And you constantly have your hand out, people smell that a mile away and they're like, no, sister, I am not going to buy from you. So this might be a gut check moment, but you've got to be a human. And then let's take it into the DMs. When you're having a conversation with somebody, it is so important that when somebody says, I'm interested in that product, that you don't just go, great, here's the link to it. You actually take a moment to say, what interests you in the product? Tell me a little bit more about your skin, your mindset, your wellness, whatever your product is about. So getting to know people. And when people tell you what their biggest challenges are, for example, with their skin, you hear them. You actually read it. So many people just go, oh, you have oily skin or you have acne prone skin. Here's the products that you should use. And instead, I like to take it and pause because I know that people are always hesitant to buy. They're hesitant that they're being sold to. So I want to make sure that people feel seen and heard. That's what makes people buy. So when somebody says, I have acne prone skin as an adult, I don't understand why at 42, I'm still dealing with breakouts. Instead of me going directly into my sales pitch, I am going to say, I don't understand that either. Like, didn't we do our time in middle school? I feel you. That was me 4 years ago before I started down my own healing journey. I was so frustrated. I was wearing like heavy makeup. I was using a lot of chemicals to get rid of the hormonal acne. I was so frustrated. Nothing worked. And it wasn't until I actually started to change my diet and I started using clean skincare that everything changed. And then I'll say to people, like, talk to me about your diet. Talk to me about the skincare you currently use. Tell me what works and what doesn't work. So I go back and forth and have a conversation with somebody before I ever say, can I make a recommendation? Does that make sense? I'm hoping that that sinks in, but that's really key. And then at the end, as I'm giving people a recommendation, I will say, these are the products that I think would work best for you. Take a look. If you are good with starting with this option, we can go ahead and place your order. I can share with you some ways to get some additional discounts and savings. Or if we need to make some adjustments to the cart, if it's too many products or you want to switch it up or have a different focus, that's what I'm here for. Please, please message me and I will help find the right fit for you, because the last thing I want is for you to waste your money on products that sit on your shelf that you never use. Boom. I care about people, genuinely care about them. So when you are scaling your sales, it's important that we focus on these two areas. It really is, do I know what I'm inviting to? Am I putting it out there in a way that creates that urgency, exclusivity, right? Excitement, that FOMO. And am I actually being a human being? Am I having genuine conversations? And every single day, as I show up in my business, one of the things that I say to myself is, okay, today's the day. Today is the day I could have a conversation that changes somebody's life. Today is the day that I could enroll somebody who their life is forever changed through the business opportunity. I, every single day, am showing up in a posture of possibility. I do not open my computer screen and go, everybody's going to give me an objection today. Nobody wants to buy from me. My social media isn't getting any likes or views. I just always am like, how can I add value? Because if I genuinely add value and serve others, I will be blessed in return. And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Okay. So as I'm recording this podcast, I'm thinking this is going to have to be a 2-part series. So we're going to come back next week for part 2. Part 2 is going to be, what are all the different types of groups that I run or threads that have helped me to scale my sales? But I want to actually talk very quickly. The last thing I want to talk about today is customer service. So once somebody gets in the door, it's so important that we don't forget about them. We work so hard to make the sale. We make the sale and then we just move on to the next because we need the next sale. And unfortunately, I've watched a lot of companies train their people to just get massive amounts of people in the door, but not focus on what to do once they're in the door. Maybe that's another reason why people have had a bad experience in the past and give direct sales a bad rap sometimes, is because people don't have good customer service. One of the things that obviously I did in my former business and that I'm doing in this current one is I'm in the process of developing new customer service protocols. And what I'm finding is that all of us, in no matter what company you're a part of, you have data at your fingertips to say, here's the last time this person ordered, here's what they ordered. And some of you even have some perks and programs set up for loyalty. If somebody orders a certain amount of months in a row, they get maybe free product credits or money towards products or some sort of incentives or gifts or rewards. And so for me, one of the things that I started doing was I make sure that every new order that goes through, I send the person a message. I send the person a message on Facebook, maybe it's on Instagram. If I don't know the person, they came from the internet, I'll send an email. But I have everybody's phone number. And I started sending personalized text messages to people to just welcome them, right, as my customer. And so that welcome message just simply says, I'm so excited that you chose me to help you on your wellness journey. This is my direct line. This is this is my personal phone. Hit reply, say, hi, it's me. So I know you got this message. And then I tell people, once your order comes in, let me know. I want to make sure that I tell you how to use your products effectively so you get the best results. And then I just say, like, I'm so happy to have you here. Make sure you're plugged into my community. Excited to serve and support you on your wellness journey. that text goes a long way. It does way better than even an email does at this point. And if the person doesn't give me their phone number, I will send them an email, or I will send them a Facebook or Instagram message. So that's really the first touch point that they have. Some people never respond. Some people respond right away. Others actually will respond like 3 weeks later, and that's okay. But I like to have that touch point with people so that they know, oh, Melanie's my concierge with my wellness. And if I need something, here's how I can get a hold of her. Okay. The second thing I do is whenever somebody's order is about 20 days out, right? So it's been 20 days since their last order, I will send them another message letting them know. And I look to see, we have this loyalty program in my company where if they're on loyalty, they earn rewards, right? So they earn points towards getting free products. People get free shipping at a certain dollar amount. And so if somebody is not on loyalty, this is a good time for me to reach out and say, hey, Susie, you've been using X product for the past 20 days. You should be running low on this specific product. Would you like me to help you create your cart? I would love to recommend some other products to help you on your wellness journey as well. We have an amazing loyalty program where you can earn points towards free products and get free shipping on orders of $150 or more. Can I help you set up your next order? And so I reach out. So again, some people respond, some people don't. The last thing that I do is when I notice that somebody's order is coming due and they are on loyalty, one of the things that I will say to people is, hey, your next loyalty order is getting ready to ship in 7 days. I noticed that your cart is $120. Did you know if you spend $150, you're going to save yourself $8.99 because you're going to get free shipping? Is there a product that I can help you shop for? Is there something you would like to add to your next order? And so what I'm doing is I'm just reinforcing, right? I'm reinforcing the loyalty and I'm touching base. It's that customer service. People are so grateful when you're like, oh, thank you. And then I also reach out when people's loyalty points are expiring. Anytime I know that the points are about to expire, I let people know with about 5 days notice. So, and then I will say the bonus tip in here, the bonus tip in all of this is I just check in with people. Anytime I do a giveaway or a bash or an incentive, I write down all the people that are in that event and I make sure that I check in with them throughout the course of the month. I want to make sure that when somebody gets a kit, they use the products. There's nothing worse than somebody having a closet full, a pantry full of products that they haven't used. Duh. That's why people say direct sales, you have to spend a lot of money and you don't make any money back. And it's because people don't use the products. They don't use the products. They don't get the results. They don't feel the difference. So I want to make sure that if somebody doesn't know how to use it, that I'm either sending them a video, doing a tutorial, hopping on the phone. But that customer service, that goes a long way because people buy from people they like and trust. They buy because they know that you'll go the extra mile, that you are going to make sure that they're well taken care of. Trust me, they want to know that they're seen and they're heard. So what have I shared today as you've been listening that you're like, oh, I'm missing a lot of these areas in my business? I want to just challenge you to really say, what can I start to put in? Can I do one new thing every single week to start creating some new routines in my direct sales business? And what this whole customer service process has done is it's helped me to retain business. My business is not a revolving door. I have a lot of repeat customers. When I first started in my business, I had very few people that were on loyalty. Now, probably half of my people, if not more, are on loyalty. And I'm working to get that up to as close to 100% as possible. But this has allowed me to have more predictable income because I have customers that love the products, are seeing results, and want to stick with me. So friends, if you found today's episode helpful, can you do me a quick favor? Will you just pause, take a screenshot of the episode, whatever you're listening on, tag me on Instagram at Melanie Mitro, and then tell me what your biggest takeaway from today was. What did you learn from this episode? And then I'm going to give you a bonus assignment that would just make my heart so happy. If you will head on over to iTunes and if you click on the Melanie Mitro Show, scroll down a little bit, it says leave a rating and review. If you'll leave me a rating and review, it helps this podcast be found by other direct sellers just like yourself so that I can spread the word of how to crush your direct sales business in a confident and fulfilling way. So friends, today's episode was fun. We're going to come back for next week for part 2, where we're going to walk through all the strategies that I find have been helpful for myself and my team in acquiring new customers. All right, friends, thanks so much for being a part of the Melanie Mitro Show. And until next week, go out there and crush those goals.